Hi! In this video, we're going to cover a feature that has been available in FuelCell for a long time, but may not be well known by many FuelCell users. It's the Replace File Names feature, which allows you to quickly and easily update the file names in a setup. We often have setups that include many experiment steps with many data files. Data file names often include something like a sample ID. For example, here we have sample XYZ, or the date for example. And we have run the experiment list previously, and now we want to run the same experiments again, but we want to change the file names to reflect the new sample ID or the new test date, for example. There is an easy way of doing that. Instead of going through and modifying each experiment step manually, we can use something called the File Name Search and Replace, or just select the Replace Files button. So we can go to Experiments, Search and Replace Data File Names, and that can also be accessed using the Replace File Names button right here. So if I click on this button, a window opens where I can replace text with new text, and what FuelCell is going to do when I select OK. It's going to go through the list of experiment file names and literally do a search and replace for specific letters or words. So in this example, I could, for example, replace XYZ with a new sample ID, so I can do XYZ, and I want to replace it with my new sample ID, ABC. And I can either do all of the experiments in the list or just highlighted experiments. So I select OK and watch what happens to the list. FuelCell indicates it has found 6 file names to be replaced, the 5 different voltage cycling experiments, plus an example of a polarization curve at the bottom here. I could also, for example, replace the date. So instead of June the 9th, say I'm running the test on June the 10th, I could just do, for example, -09 and replace that with -10 to reflect the new date, June the 10th. And there, FuelCell has gone through the experiment list and updated that part of the file name. In addition to replacing the specific file name, we can also replace the path. So if I look at the path, or where this file is going to be saved, it's currently going to the Data subfolder within the FuelCell folder. And within that, there is a folder called Sample XYZ, which makes sense because that was the old sample ID. Well, now I want to save the new files to a new folder. First, we have to create the new folder because FuelCell won't create the folder. So we create a folder called Sample ABC. So I first create the folder, and now in FuelCell, I can simply change the path or the location that the data files are going to be saved in. Currently, they are being saved to Sample XYZ, which was the old folder, and now I want them to be saved to Sample ABC, which is the folder that I just created. And again, FuelCell is going to go through and do that for all 6 files, because all 6 files were located in the same location. So now if I click on a file and I look at the path, it's now going to go to Data Sample ABC folder, which I created previously. So that's a very quick example of using the File Search and Replace feature to quickly update the file names and locations of data files within FuelCell. Thank you for watching.